About 20 seconds.
Good evening, everyone. How are we? We are in the dark, but there is some light.
Whatever's just floating around my head, thing. Whatever that was, made a lot of noise.
Probably a bee or a wasp with those flowers behind there. They do love that. So how are we all this evening? It's a beautiful evening, actually. After a pretty bizarre couple of days of wind and rain and
it's been like start to finish today. It's been bizarre. This morning, first lesson out, couldn't stand up.
Yep.
This evening's lesson, absolutely beautiful.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Good old English weather. So it's been a good week of golf. A couple of really good tournaments last week.
Yeah.
We've been away and played golf, which is exciting in itself.
Yeah,
we've been to Sunningdale.
Been a rare one.
And that was our most fun, wasn't it? A long day though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's always a long day. So 36 holes a day, you forget just how, like, towards the end it's like
how much it takes out
running out of steam. But yeah, played there and played Hindhead.
Yes.
Me and a couple of lads played Hindhead the day before. You had a bit of a drive.
I had the drive. Yes, was on holiday last week, so long drive there and back in a day. But it was all good. So guys, as always, preview show is all about you guys getting your picks involved. So in the comments, Ryan is in the comments. He will be texting throughout there. So yeah, get your comments in the live chat. We want to see who you are picking for the two tournaments this week. But first of all, we better recap last week's tournament. So Adam, talk us through what happened last week.
So we were back at Celtic Manor, and we had an okay week in terms of our picks. So Thomas Peters 15th at 2 under par.
Yeah.
Not bad.
That's a strong pick, seeing as I don't know any of the European Tour players, so I feel like I'm getting better.
Yeah. So Hao Tong Lee, a tie for 8th at 3 under par, and I had Sebastian Söderberg, and he was so close. Literally one off the lead. I was thinking, come on, and then he shot 74 final round to lose.
It's painful.
He's at 4 under par, and obviously
what was the winner?
8 under par is the winner. So it was good. It's nice. I quite like to see it back-to-back weeks. They didn't change the setup too much. It's one of those that it's a great golf course. It rewards you for being aggressive.
Yeah, definitely.
Around there.
It's a proper modern tour course, isn't it?
It's a really good track, and obviously it is a normal tour stop for those boys as well.
Yes, yeah, they've played there many times, haven't they? So,
and then
PJ Tour. There's only one guy to mention. DJ. Wow. Just like
30 under par, that's ridiculous.
And left so many out there in terms of, especially that 60 when he was 11 under par through 11 holes.
Could have been 57,
56 easy on that back 9. Par 2, par 5's coming in, and it's just
and there lies golf in its entirety. 2 weeks before, he shoots 82, 80 or 81 or something like that, back-to-back rounds, and then does that. It's like
you've just got to keep being.
It just doesn't disappear. It just ebbs and flows.
And the line between good and bad is so small, isn't it? The margin.
Yeah, and definitely on that stage, like, and for him to be able to have, obviously that the strength of mind just to think, right, bad week, gone.
Yeah.
And that's obviously for us and for everybody down the lens. It's having that bad round maybe on a Saturday and just hit the reset button, go again Sunday. It's not to say that Saturday's performance will be Sunday's.
Yeah, it's how quickly they turn it over, isn't it? Like, even like hole to hole, and missing maybe a birdie putt, and then just not letting that affect you too much, and going out and carrying on and keeping that mentality. But for me, I think that's a lot.
You've got a big thing about it.
I've got a big thing about is that we all want to see birdies and we all want to see like players go low, but I think 30 is too much. Where do you draw the line? Because the guys are overpowering golf courses these days. How do we
Did they see the scoring on Friday, and could they have stopped it, curbed it on Saturday?
Yes.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
You know, whereas in a major, you know, imagine that at the Masters, they literally would have just gone, right, you guys aren't doing this Saturday. No. You're not doing it, and yeah, they wouldn't have been able to.
It's great for golf, isn't it? It's great for people who maybe not that interested to go and you know, sort of dip in and out and just see. You know, DJ going mental, and like, you know, 2 eagles in one round is insane in itself, you know, and then you know, 30 under par, and you think, wow, what has he done to do that?
Scoring was low from lots of players had 1 or 2 really good rounds.
Scott Scheffler has shot 59, 3 rounds in the 60s,
and not
11 behind the leader. That, like, he must have gone home and just think, like, well, like every other week apart from this week,
I win by so many
shots.
Exactly. So we better get on to this week's events. We'll start on European Tour, shall we? Because we're off to the Belfry.
We're going to it. That's a classic.
That is a classic. We haven't been.
How many weeks have we spent there, son?
We've spent a lot of time there. How many times have you played the course?
Never.
Never. I reckon we spent.
Go there in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
So anybody that doesn't know, that is the home of the PGA in the UK. So we would have gone for our training 1 whole week out of the year.
Yeah, for 3 years.
For 3 years.
Plus exams
and bits and pieces after that, and day trips up there for courses and bits and pieces. Hand your
coursework in my day, because you had to either mail it in or drive it in.
Yeah.
Because you were electronic at that point, depending how late you finished it.
But then it's been taken over in bits and pieces throughout the years.
Changed hands.
But that's sort of one of my earlier
Ryder Cup memories.
Is
93?
McGinley.
No, you'd have been the next one.
McGinley, 2001?
2002 it would have been, because 2001 it was supposed to happen, then it didn't.
So 2002 in McGinley there, that would have been my earliest sort of Ryder Cup memory.
Mm-hmm. Any experience at the Belfry?
No, none. And unlike, so those that don't know, obviously Simon and Adam are PGA pros. I am not, so I don't get those lovely privileges of
going to share a room with some random.
But so no experiences of the Belfry for me other than television experience. But
it's been a great Ryder Cup venue, and it used to host tournament every year on the European Tour. Every year English Open.
A lot of the courses that they've used throughout this English swing.
UK swing, definitely.
UK swing has been like either current tour courses in Celtic Manor or the others have all held
in the past. Definitely. And I think that's kind of why they chose them, because they've already got the infrastructure there.
Yeah, and they've got the hotels on site, which they COVID-wise is.
Yeah, we have the bubble and stuff. So we've got some picks in here. So let's just go through the picks for the English Open first of all. So Julian Roll is going for Matt Wallace.
Yeah.
Andy Kemp is going for Martin Keimer.
He likes a bit of Keimer.
Oh, and Andy Kemp is also not rating the Belfry. It's didn't rate it that highly. It's one of those that personally I think the Belfry is all about what time of year you play it.
Yeah, it can get a little wet.
Can get wet there. It won't be wet when they play this week.
No.
And I think it's one of those courses that it rewards tour play, because you wouldn't have Kempy wouldn't have played off the back tees.
Yeah.
And they will go low round there. I think they will, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I'm going to pop the old betting on the screen here so you can see what's going on there. Matt Wallace is second favourite in there. And who are you going to go with, Ryan?
I am going Matt Wallace.
You are going with Matt Wallace as well, are you? Excellent. 14-1 shout in there. Oh, there's another big. You guys are going to see some pretty impressive beasts flying across the screen, I think. Some good stuff.
We're sitting in the dark with a load of lights facing at us. If that doesn't attract insects, then
I don't know what will. So
where are you going inside?
I'm going to go for. I always do.
You settle on someone and then
I changed my mind. I was really happy with what Hao Tong Lee did last week, and I really want to pick him, but I also really want an English winner. So I'm going to go Jordan Smith. I think
picked him before.
I've picked him before. I like him. I like his golf game. I think he's primed for a big win. Not afraid to go low.
No.
So that's where I'm going to go.
I'm
where are you going?
On a recent pick. So I
Andy?
think Mr. Sullivan. And there's actual money.
There's actual money on it.
Actual money, Debbie.
Yeah, I've actually moneyed in. Not loads, because I don't.
Pennies.
Literally just 50p each way.
Yeah.
Just so there's something on it.
Just something on it. And so, yeah, Mr. Sullivan performed well this summer. He's playing good. So hopefully
he gets it done for you. So, guys, as always, comment below. Let us know who you think is going to win on tour this week. Who is going to win the English Championships? So let's go over now to PGA Tour, BMW Championship, and what normally would be the start of
the FedEx.
Oh no, would it be the start of the FedEx? It's not normally the first event in the FedEx, I don't think, but it's definitely an event in the FedEx.
You've got the Barclays normally
playoffs.
First, I think.
So yeah,
it's the middle event. Normally.
It's normally second or third event, isn't it, in there in those events? But yeah, obviously that is condensed now. So we've got BMW Championships, then Tour Championships next week, and then I think US Open pretty soon after that. So it's big events on PGA Tour coming and coming and coming.
Which is fair play to like Matt Wallace and those boys for coming back
to play. Yeah,
because they're going to have to now quarantine back and then go back and quarantine again.
Yeah, I mean obviously Matt Wallace, there is a reason.
Yeah, so he's sponsored by the Belfry, so there would have been a contract.
He would have to play in that.
There,
but yeah, there are other players that could be playing in America this week that are choosing to support the English, and that's great.
But do some of these players like so I know obviously I follow them with Formula One. They have what they call a elite sportsman pass,
right?
And they are allowed to travel within countries and not have to necessarily go through the quarantine period.
Does it depend where they then stay while they're here?
Yeah, I don't. Possibly. I don't know, but they all the Formula One, they all drive the same bubbles, so they all have their own bio,
just like the
bubble,
cricket
like the cricket did. So I don't know how, if they're staying away from others, but then you can't do that necessarily when you're playing. You know,
I know when they've gone over, like the reason that Tommy didn't go over early was because of the quarantine factor. But I don't know.
It's that's to give up those points as well, those FedEx points, you know, that you're giving up and playing PGA golf.
World ranking points
is much greater, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to decrease massively.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Anyone else find it hard to get excited about the whole playoff thing? They do just try and sell it as what it is. I enjoy the fact that once you get to the playoffs, there is I like the cut-offs. That's what I mean. I'm trying to explain that. But yeah, how you just get cut.
You've got to get to that number, otherwise you're gone.
Yeah, and then there's top 30 in the last event, and just to make it to the Tour Championships, you've got to have played well, not only all season to get to the playoffs, but then in those weeks leading up.
As well. Like, it doesn't give you a free pass to the end.
Which is good when we all know that you also know in golf that anyone could win on a given week, but to keep winning to get through to everything.
Billy Horschel, the year he won, he literally just got into the first event.
Yeah, and then won
crazy. Won 2 things, and then won the Tour Championship, won the FedEx Cup.
Got on a run.
Yeah.
But, like you say, you have one bad round, and that you may have been playing brilliantly, and then you can quite easily just drop off the cliff. Yeah.
Or you turn up like they did last week, and if you weren't 6 or 7 under after 2 days, you're out.
See you later.
And then you're gone if you don't quite make it right. So let's pop the betting up so you guys can have a little look at that. And yeah, it's just literally, as always, who's who of world golf in there. DJ being the favourite in there. Xander Schauffele, Rory, Jason Day, Bryson, Justin Thomas, they're all there. They are all in attendance. So, who are everybody going for? So let's go through the picks on here first of all. So we're going to go Scotty Scheffler for Julian Rolt. So close last week.
Yeah.
Whether he can follow that through, we shall see.
Yeah.
Andy Kemp is going Dustin Johnson for 2 on the spin.
See, I've said before, I think 2 on the spin is one of the hardest things.
I think if anyone can do it, it's DJ.
Yeah, because he literally.
I mean,
he don't know.
Floating on a cloud somewhere else most of the time.
He does not know.
To go 2 on the spin, the concentration levels to do 4 rounds, and obviously the way he played, and what did he win it by last week? 11 shots. So he had
that's
plenty
full on cruise control.
There was plenty in the bag in that last round, especially when you get into the last sort of 5 or 6 holes, you're like, I've got 11. You could probably
it in from there.
Yeah, you could probably take a little bit of the pressure off.
Chip it in from here.
The Mo Norman hit it in reverse.
Yeah, definitely.
2 on the spin.
It's possible.
It is possible, but
it's very, very difficult.
Very hard.
So, who am I going for? I am going for Colin Morikawa.
The only major champion so far.
I just think he is so good. I just think he's going to be so good. Yeah. If he's not already so good. But yeah, Colin Morikawa for me.
He definitely won't be doing any more work anytime soon, even if he gives up golf.
No, he won't be, no. And I don't think that'll be his only major either. I think he will get on and win some more. Adam.
So, have you got money on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got money on it.
Money on it?
Gosh.
Xander Schauffele.
Xander Schauffele.
So, love the golf game.
Yeah.
Golf swing that I really, really like. Just solid in every department, and I feel like a FedEx Cup playoff is his bag.
Yeah.
Because he's just super consistent. He could be like top 10, and then in with a shout last week.
Yeah.
And then just take it there. It was unfortunate how he finished the Open. Was it last year, the year before? And I think it was one of those. If he puts a bit of a stronger finish in there, you don't know. I think he's one of those players, a bit like maybe Morikawa's going to be, that if he wins something big, he's going to go bananas.
Kick on from there,
yeah.
I'm going, because I'm going to pick a Formula World number one, and there's been quite a few recently.
Yeah, it's been flitting around.
It's been flitting about, back and forwards.
But I'm going to go Rory.
Okay.
I don't think you can't keep him. He can't stay down for that long. He's going to have to start. He's going to start winning something soon. He
hasn't been a long way away.
No.
Most weeks he's always been around and about.
He's just that good that he will eventually come good, and I think.
And on courses like that, where it's like long and he needs to hit it off the tee, and there's nobody better in.
No, I mean him, DJ, obviously, and Bryson now smash it a long way. But yeah, I think because we're now ramping up, obviously with the BMW, the FedEx Cup's coming, and all that. I think Rory's one of those guys that will just maybe got that little step in him.
I think Julian in here is saying you're possibly 1 week too early with that pick. He's saying Rory always plays well at the Tour Championships, and he does.
Yeah, he does.
He does love Eastlake.
Well, I'm not unheard of picking the same person a couple of weeks running, so maybe next week.
Andy Kemp is saying, I don't think DJ concentrates on anything for much more than 2 minutes at a time.
No.
And that's probably not a bad thing. That's definitely not an insult. What do you guys think of the bulk of the majors being after the FedEx Cup? Julian's saying he kind of likes it.
Yeah, I don't think it. For me, like it's one of those that this year's a bit different. It's one of those. As long as they're played.
Yeah, and I think what's disappointing.
As long as I get to watch Augusta at some point, I don't care.
Augusta is going to be completely different.
It's going to look so weird. But yeah, in a grand scheme of things, that needs to be included within the FedEx Cup.
Yeah.
So then it gives like the European Tour players that maybe don't travel over as much. It gives them an equal opportunity as a guy that plays week in, week out on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, to come in.
So that needs to be included.
Yeah, definitely. My big thing with the majors is, and I get it to a certain extent, but that the Open Championship was cancelled so early.
Yeah.
And it's just such a shame that if you look at it now and how successful the UK swing's been, the ladies was last week was fantastic. It's just
hindsight's a mate. Of course it is. We'd have known that
they got so much infrastructure.
It's agreed. Yeah, definitely agreed. Yeah.
And like Augusta's in a position where they can go like no fans done.
Yes, definitely.
Whereas the infrastructure for the Open, you don't know, like commercially, what money they have to try and make off the back.
Yeah,
of that
what their commitments are and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I
think that's where the TV companies possibly could help a bit more. And go
they rule it a little bit. Can you kind of go, okay, we see you're not going to get your revenue from footfall and people paying their tickets, so we're not going to charge you as much for this. And the golf clubs that it goes to, because the Open's on a rota, they would be reliant on merch. They would be reliant, like the club would get a lot of money from that. That's going to set that golf club up probably all the way through till its next turn on the rota. So perhaps it's something like that, like from the golf club's point of view, and
they
how
can host.
Much, like they're only going to get to host it once every 8-9.
Depending where they are on the rota, but it's like a 12-course rota, isn't it? So
like St George's, for example, was like Darren Clark's. That was a while ago.
Yeah, definitely.
So it could be something like that. We just don't know the ins and outs, but.
That's it. So
personally, I quite like how the majors are sort of spaced through the year. Just think that you kind of, it's something to sort of look forward to again, isn't it? Instead of having them all truncated at one end, and I think it gives, players obviously ebb and flow through the year, and it gives, you might have someone playing really well at the end of the year, and they may have more of a chance of someone sort of thrown their game a little bit, or maybe injured. And you've lost your chance to
having it
have a major.
Having them all stuffed together does. If you're injured or out, out of form.
Then that's your year gone, and
especially especially as so many of the top players do just play for. I say just play, but they focus themselves up for the majors, and then so they're all of them are now focusing all their attention on the next few weeks because the majors are going to be coming up soon. Whereas in other years, I know it's playoff time, and the PGA Tour love the playoffs, but players in the lead up to majors, some would be playing more than others, and some would be missing out weeks, and they know what their schedule is, whereas they're kind of forced to play more than they would usually do in terms of consecutive weeks.
Saying that about Brooks, and like how many weeks in a row that Brooks had played, just simply like he probably wouldn't do that on a normal year, but he's obviously trying to boost his FedEx Cup ranking. You gotta try, and if you're behind the 8 ball, you've got to play more, so you've got to turn up to more things. Now you get to a major, you probably maybe 6 events in a row, where he'd normally only play like maybe 2-3 weeks, then go home for 2 weeks, and come out for 2 weeks.
And that's
no one's mentioned the man, though, has they?
The man? No, I did know. One of the questions I was going to say to you was, is it going to be cold this week? Because that was going to influence whether we pick Tiger. But Tiger is playing this week, and that will be the focus. And again, played last week, so playing 2 weeks in a row.
Played some nice stuff. Like obviously, didn't play 4 good rounds, but he did play. He played quite nicely, and you sort of saw some of the spark that he has. It's just, I don't think, unfortunately, he's getting old.
And he
is still waiting for Augusta.
And it's one of those, and he's even said it. He's like, I know nowadays that I'm not going to have it. Some weeks it's just not going to be there.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things that if he turns up and it is there, watch out.
Watch out, exactly.
Because he's still one of the best players on the planet.
Mentally.
When it matters, he knows he can get it done.
Yeah.
So if he puts himself in that position,
he'll get it done.
He will get it done.
Andy Kemp is saying, off subject, I know, but Popov done so well at the Women's Open on Sunday. Very impressive. Yes, it was. It's one of those, isn't it? I don't feel like it is off topic. I'd love to talk more about women's golf, but it's just not. It doesn't seem to be in.
They got some really good coverage off Sky.
It was really good this week. Yeah, and the Troon looked amazing. And
I've never seen it over the wall.
Peeked over the wall.
You see over the wall.
A raised tee box and a really short wall.
But yeah, I mean, Women's British Open was fantastic. Have you been to watch it before?
No.
We've been down to watch it before. It's a really well organised event, as they all are, and some fantastic.
They played in some really tough conditions as well.
Days, there was hardly anyone under par.
No, I mean, I think one of the lowest scores was 1 over par, and you're thinking, wow. And these are the best women in the world playing. Yeah. And it was really tough. So I think they did brilliantly to get that competition on, because the weather we've had in the UK this week has been pretty dire.
Mixed
at best.
So
it's all good. So yes, Tommy Timmy is saying Rory McIlroy definitely going to win this week. So he is with you, Ryan.
Nice
work.
So there we have another pick in there. Good, guys. So as always, thank you very much for watching. That is about enough from us for tonight. Make sure you get those comments in below. Postage stamp is a great hole to watch. Yes, postage stamp is a great hole to watch, and hopefully one day will be a great hole to play.
Yes.
But that's for another day. So guys, as always, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sitting with us. Thanks for being able to see us this week. Look, it's still looking like
lit up, and there is
still lit up. There is bugs everywhere. Look at all the sheeting there. Yeah. Lovely.
We'll work harder and we'll get better lighting for next week. If only we knew a lighting technician, eh?
No excuses. Next week.
On that
note, guys, thank you very much. See you all soon. Make sure you do the YouTube stuff.
Subscribe, all that.
If you're not subscribed, hit the button.
Do the things.
And we'll see you in the week.